You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm my friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. You roll with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lanes. And it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. If we don't play, all wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an IO. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? This is Devin. We're going to do a take two here. In the middle of the show, Mello had to leave, and he accidentally hit end stream instead of just, exiting himself from the stream. I'm going to be transparent and honest with y'all. No joke. I talked for easy 5 minutes before I realized that the show had even ended. Shout out Steely and Dennis for texting me. They said, hey, you cut us off. And I'm sitting here talking. Like I gave all my recruiting updates, gave everything. So let's try this again. I'll change the title afterwards and put take two. So people know I showed highlights. You guys didn't see that. I showed Aaron Thomas highlights. I showed everything. But, excuse me. Here we go. We're going to do it again. So, Aaron Thomas, a current commit tackle in our class. You guys know him from Arizona. Big friend of the Buckeye boys here. His mom, himself, talked to him frequently. A while back, there was some talk about him visiting Florida State. People were bringing up flip watch. Well, his dad's from Florida State, and it's a family tradition. They always go watch a Florida State game. Well, that is this weekend. He is going to visit Florida State this weekend, and there's another show that got put out talking about they're expecting him to flip from the class. His mom just recently sent me highlights of him. So, I don't have any intel on flipping, not flipping. Right now, I'm the dude committed to the Buckeyes. I consider him a Buckeye. I think he's going to be in this class. I don't really buy into that whole flip stuff too much until I am told otherwise. I talked with them directly. So there's no concerns on that end from me as of yet. That could change, right? Florida State picking their game up here. Obviously, they're going to be pushing pretty hard to flip him, being a legacy and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and play these highlights that I already played once before, but we'll play him again. Again, he's not like circled in yellow or something, but he's going to be number 57 that you're going to see in the screen here. He plays left tackle. You're going to see him making several blocks. You'll see him make a block all the way down the field. You're going to see somebody that is actually had some more time playing the offensive line, training and whatnot. He's looking way better. So pay attention here on the screen. Try to follow it the best that you can. I'm going to restart it here. So here we go. You see him running the dude all the way down the field there. That's him. That's him blocking dude all the way down the field. Dude did not like that. Here we go again. He's right in front of us, bottom of the screen, blocking number 93. Does a phenomenal job. There he goes again. Blocking with the hands, moving his feet. I love it. Here he is again, setting, speed rusher, tries to go out and around, doesn't let it happen. Absolutely love it. There he goes again, just pancaking. There he just pancaking, dude. Flat on the ground, getting turned up. And here he is, lined up out wide. Okay, so his mom made a little joke when she sent it to me and said they're putting some things on tape for Brian Hartline to see. That way we can use him in whatever way we need to. So we'll see what happens there. The Buckeyes are getting very aggressive in this class. I think they're going to do everything they can to keep everybody they have in this class right now. This offensive line class right now is the best offensive line class in the country with Sam Grillo, Maxwell Riley, Aaron Thomas, and then the fourth Arizona commit that we have. I'm blanking on his name right now. I've been sick for a couple days. Please forgive me. But the Buckeyes aren't done in this 26 class. We know that they are going for more recruits in this class. This upcoming Minnesota game is an opportunity for the Buckeyes, a home game for them to bring some recruits in. We don't have many the beginning of the year, especially conference games where you want to bring these recruits in, but they're going to take advantage of this Minnesota game when they can. One to keep an eye on, 2026 linebacker Jacob Curry, coming off his Oklahoma visit. Some feel very strongly that that's where he wants to go, but you see that he visited Oklahoma, didn't make a move, and is still taking the time to come to Ohio State and visit. So I think we need to keep more of an eye on this one. Everybody's focused on the 3-star Indiana kid. He's committed to Indiana from Ohio. I like his film better. I think he's a better prospect. But James Laurinaitis offered Jacob Curry, and he has taken the time to come down here and do this. And when you're a recruit, and you're watching what the Buckeyes are doing on defense in particular this year, what Matt Patricia is doing, the way Matt Patricia's talking, the way Matt Patricia's moving, he's talking and moving like he's going to be here for a minute, okay? And when you watch what these Buckeyes are putting on the field and you're a defensive player in this 26 class, I don't care how much money and other teams offer you. You can't help but get excited with what these Buckeyes are doing. So I think with what James Laurinaitis is doing with this linebacker room, I think in the next couple years, if it's not already happening, he's going to be the Brian Hartline of the linebacker in linebacker recruiting. He's going to be able to pick and choose what he wants because what he's been able to do with Sonny Styles going from safety, Cody Simon last year going in the NFL, and what Arvell Reese is doing this year, you guys will see this linebacker recruiting is already off the wall with getting Riley Pettyjohn and Tarvos Alford and Eli Johnson last year. I mean, Eli Lee. It's amazing what he's doing. And we got Sincere Johnson and CJ Sauna in this class already. He is stepping his game up. Another one, right? Everybody wanted Braylon Womack in the class. I did too. Got the rug pulled out from under us. Big friend of the Buckeye boys. Still is. Still talk to his dad from time to time. Love that family to death. They're going to be successful wherever they choose to go to school. Hopefully the Buckeyes get back in that recruitment. But until then, Matt Guerrieri told one specific safety recruit in the country that he is the best free safety in this class. That's what this recruit has said. He has said, Matty G told me that I'm the best free safety in this class. Those are big words coming from a coach's mouth. If he actually said that, that's a big statement to say, okay? This guy is Kamari Bing, a current Maryland commit. Kamari recently said Ohio State is number 2 behind Maryland, obviously because he's committed to Maryland. But you're committed to Maryland, and you're going to make a trip to Minnesota to your number 2 team, to the Minnesota game, and you're going to watch the Buckeyes in the horseshoe with the way this defense is playing, and you're going to watch Caleb Downs and Jalen McClain. Bro, I don't see how the Buckeyes don't flip him. I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I think if the Buckeyes truly believe Kamari Bing is the best free safety in this class, they're going to get him. They are going to flip this kid, and this is going to be the start of that flip on this visit. I say keep your eyes out. Maybe a decommitment coming after this, visit to the Minnesota game shortly after. Who knows? I don't know how it's going to play out, but when you look at the tea leaves here and you see the things that are being said by the recruit and the fact that he's coming here to visit, I think that those are real good signs and something to keep an eye on. One that I am most intrigued about, Dre Quinn, defensive end out of Buford, was committed to Clemson. He recently decommitted from Clemson. He stated that him decommitting from Clemson has nothing to do. Chris Lane, Dev reads tea leaves. Shoot, yeah, bro. Heck yeah, I read tea leaves, dude, all day long, bro. It's called text messages from the recruits. That's what I read. Anyway, Dre Quinn, defensive end coming to visit the Buckeyes, okay? Now, what the Buckeyes have done here is they've let him know how much of a need a true defensive end is for them in this class. They have let him know how much he is needed. A player like him is needed in this class. So, and I've also been told the Buckeyes want more than one defensive end in this class as well. So let's say they do flip Drake Quinn. I know a couple more that they are going after. There's one, the name still has not been released. There are people mocking that there is no other defensive end, but we'll see. I'm being told by the recruit himself that he's going to show up, and the Buckeyes are interested. But I guess I'm the only one that knows that in the nation. But we'll find out. Either I'm being lied to, or you guys are about to see a big-time defensive end name pop up at Ohio State, and everybody's going to get all excited and blow up. And just remember where you heard it first 2 months ago here on the Buckeye Boys. But I can't say his name out of respect for the recruit. But Luke Waffle is one that they're going after on another note. That's another one they're going after pretty hard. So the Buckeyes, Kari Wilder, can he play defensive end? Yes, but he's 260 already. So we're going to have to see where his body type fits in when he gets into this Buckeye strength and conditioning. I trust Coach Mick. Whatever Coach Mick thinks he's best at, body and weight wise, that's where they're going to put him at, and they'll utilize him at whatever weight that ends up being. But either way you cut it, even if Kari Wilder is a true defensive end, the Buckeyes need more, right? We all know that. We're all wanting that. We all drool over 5-star defensive ends, and we've seen the misses on the recruiting trail, getting outbid and all those things. So the Buckeyes are stepping their game up here. And you guys should get a little excited, right? Because you heard me talk earlier about what the Buckeyes are doing for Jalen Brewster. Everybody thinking he's going to Texas Tech. He might, right? Texas Tech they're probably going to offer more money than Ohio State. But Ohio State is still pulling out all the stops here. They're up in their nil game. They did it a couple times in the 26 class, but not to this level that they're doing for Brewster. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they've changed their philosophy just a little bit. And it also, you put 2 and 2 together, you see the 26 class is not over yet. There's still needs in there. They're finding their flip targets. And like we've said before on this show, Nevada and B. Moses dropped that nugget a while back about, their recruiting technique. This class, we're not going to be the class losing a bunch of our recruits. This time we're going to be the aggressor. We're going to be the ones going out and flipping guys, flipping prospects into our class. And I believe that. Ryan Day, he just operated a little bit differently. If you saw the Downs to Business, or Caleb Downs, Sonny, and Low Styles got on there and they talked, and they talked about Coach Day and how he was a little bit different, the intensity that he is bringing into these practices. And every time the Buckeyes do anything, they say that he's just on a different level. He's just on a different level this year. His intensity is just out of this world. So I saw Sue ask where Nevada is. Nevada, I thought they were going at 8-10. They may or may not. I'm not sure. Haven't spoke to them today. Did this show to get on here with Mello for a little bit, even though he ended the show on me when he got off. I'll forgive him. It is the second time he's done that to me. So what do you think, chat? You think he does it on purpose, chat, or you think it's a legitimate mistake? I'm just joking. I know it's a mistake. But, yeah. So, Steely, yeah, it's called a $60 billion man. And they still haven't finalized the CSC and all the guidelines for NIL and all that. They still haven't finalized that stuff. So it's the wild, wild west, man. Didn't I recently see that Diego, whatever, isn't he Vandy's quarterback or something? Didn't he just get approved for a 7th year of eligibility? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did anybody else read that? Is somebody trolling me? It's one of those things. I briefly saw it on Twitter before the show. I didn't do any research on it, but if that is true, this is getting wild, man. This is, we need to start, putting in, requests to the NCAA to get some 6th and 7th years of eligibility. We can just keep the current team we have for the next 3 years. That'd be great. Isn't that wild? Miss Pinky, isn't that wild? No. So, bro, I mean, hey, I guess if there's no rules, you can try anything. Try it, you know. Pavia will be getting Social Security by the time he gets out of college football. Miss Pinky, yeah, dude, I know. So, anyway, the Buckeyes are, we've seen this pattern over and over again. Okay. The Buckeyes are not going to cross a line. They're not going to operate in a gray area. And there's things about that I love, right? They never put themselves in a position to not honor their word, right? To a recruit. So they're never going to promise a recruit something that they don't know for 100% that they can give them. Other schools, they don't give a damn. They'll tell the recruit and offer the recruit whatever they have to in the moment, right, to get them to sign. And then if the NCAA ever comes and says, no, you can't do that, then all the school is going to say is, well, the NCAA screwed us. Well, the NCAA screwed you, right? Push the blame off on somebody else. The Buckeyes aren't going to do that, but we will tell you, okay, I got to explain this. Sue, this is my spittoon cup, right? I got a bad habit of chewing backer. So Dennis sent me this cup and I put an X on it, put sucks on it. So that's what I spit in. I'm sure you guys don't want to know that. You think it's nasty and disgusting, but you asked. So I told you I need to stop doing it during live shows. But when I get to talking and I get on a roll, I need to stop, whatever. But yeah, there you go. Answer to your question. Yeah, we back when stars align. We back. So what was I talking about? I forget. This is why I need a co-host. This is why I need somebody to help me remember what I was talking about. And somebody in the chat's going to remind me in a second, and I'll continue on that trail. But I'll confirm no BMOs in Nevada tonight. Okay, they're taking the night off. So yeah, the Buckeyes, when a new rule comes in, not going to operate in the gray area, whatever. But it's been new for a minute. So the Buckeyes have felt out the rules. They've felt out the atmosphere. They put their feelers out there. They kind of see how things are going. And I think they're upping, right, things a little bit now. They're leaning more towards that gray. So, and they're going to be more competitive with some of their nil offers. They're going to because they have to, because every school is doing it at this point. So the Buckeyes have lost too many recruits that committed to them. And at the last minute, schools came in with larger offers. That happened twice that I know of for a fact. The day before the recruit was supposed to commit, he called the Buckeyes and said, hey, I'm committing to you guys. Graphics were made, everything. One was Luke Waffle we know of, and the other was the corner commit to Nebraska. Blanking on the name right now, but it's not Danny Lang. That's the 2027 guy. Danny Odom, is that his name, right? That the Buckeyes are still on very heavily. So I don't think I can go for 2 hours, dude. I've been sick. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. I wanted to hold off talking about the Minnesota game. I wanted to, guys, listen. Guess what I'm picking up tomorrow at 2:44 from the airport? My new dog. I got a dog. I'll show you the picture. She is a 4-month-old Karen Terrier. She's absolutely gorgeous. Where she's coming from, her name, they named her Jiffy. I'm probably going to change her name, though. Boy, that is not... here we go. This is it. Fancy said they knew I was going to say a dog. Did you? Dang, man. Where's my picture of her at? All right. You guys see her? Yeah, you guys can see her pretty good. Yeah, I'm a small dog, dude. So her name's Jiffy right now, but I'll get her and see and see if that name fits her. If it does, I'll keep it. If not, then no. Never had a girl dog in my life. I've always got males. So it's going to be a new experience for me. So we'll try that out and see how it goes. But I am excited beyond belief. Chris Lane, thanks for the $5. I'm a bit late on this, Dev, but I love the stuff you put out while in Seattle. Thanks for showing that Ohio was there. Yeah, for sure, man. I would have put more out. I would have kept doing the live stream, but man, I got to get to the game earlier. And because I was on that cruise, I couldn't get there early enough to do a live stream and show you guys around. By the time I got there, they apparently already had on their signal blockers. So the signal just, if you were watching that live stream, you saw it just kind of shut off, but it still said I was live. I couldn't even log back on to shut the stream off. I had to get Mello to get on and do it. So it was kind of wild. I took a lot of pictures and a lot of videos of my adventures afterwards because I went hiking to the top of Rattlesnake Ridge, which is super sketchy. If you guys remember last year when I went to Oregon, I stayed after for a couple days and hiked through the mountains, and I showed you guys all those pictures. I'll get that together again. Went on a couple little trips, and Monday before my plane took off, went on another hike. Saw some seals. They look like sea lions. Saw like 10 different slugs, like huge slugs. Did you guys know Seattle has slugs like this big? And they're like have leopard print on them and all kind of crazy stuff. So it was a pretty cool experience. Me and B Moses will be heading to the Wisconsin game. So we'll be doing a live together at the Wisconsin game. We'll be doing a live about probably 3 hours before the game. We'll head over to the stadium, walk around the stadium, show everybody. And then how I do lives is we'll probably be the first one in line to get in the game. I'll remain live for that, take you guys into the venue. I go straight down as close to I get to the field, and I'll show the players warming up. I try to get their attention, all that stuff. Yeah, Ken Taco slugs. Yeah. I'll pull up a picture. All right. You guys see that? Look at that freaking slug, dude. That thing's huge. All right. This is the leopard print one. Look at that leopard print slug, dude. Isn't that wild? And this was the biggest one. This one was huge. That was huge. Yeah, instead of uploading, I guess I can show you guys this. I don't know if I want to show you guys this one. I don't have a shirt on. I look like an idiot. But whatever. So this is top the mountain. Okay. Way high up there, out on a ledge. I mean, it was scary and wild. I got right next. My dad was tripping. He was like, Devin, nope, you got to get back from the ledge. But there's something about that adrenaline that you get when you're up super, super high. You look over the edge, you start to get dizzy a little bit because you're up so high. Love it. I love it. So, yeah, that's what I did after the game. But let's see, I'm trying to think what else. That Washington game, man, I'll tell you that in person, and I'm going all over the place, but I'm trying to get a little bit longer since they're not going. I know you guys love being in the chat, but I will tell you that about the first quarter and a half, the Buckeyes looked sluggish. They did. I didn't see a lot of fire on the sideline. I didn't see it just didn't feel a lot of energy coming from them. And I know that's kind of the way the game played out, but towards the end of the second quarter, you start to see some guys getting fired up on the sideline, some guys getting fired up after plays and whatnot. And they kind of kicked it into gear there. But man, watching these Buckeyes in person, you watch the TV copy, and I think sometimes on TV, players just look slower. I mean, two of the players on offense that I'll tell you that are way faster than what they look on TV are Jeremiah Smith, number one, and number two, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, you know, I said this yesterday or whenever I did that show with Nevada, but in person, Bo Jackson just looks like an absolute animal. And, you know, CJ Donaldson is good back. He is what he is. James Peoples, I keep waiting for something to click with him, but it just doesn't seem. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, he's hasn't been in the program forever, only a sophomore, so a lot of room to go there. But there's another running back in this room that I wouldn't mind seeing get some playing time. That's Isaiah West. Isaiah West is probably the most physically ready running back out of all these running backs. Have you seen the size of this dude's legs and how he presents himself? And we saw him in the spring game. We saw him get in a little bit in the Grambling game, did real good. So I wouldn't mind seeing him get some playing time as well. But it's just interesting to see these guys in person, how they operate. And man, that defense is they're fun to watch. They are fast, very fun to watch. So I'm excited, guys. Anybody in the chat? I'll just do this. I'm going to put nobody ever comes on, but I'm putting the link in the chat for anybody that wants to come on. I'm out of stuff to talk about. So if somebody wants to come on and strike up a conversation, talk about some things, there's the link. Hit the link. It's a beautiful time to do that. Also, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate that. I know this show's all over the place. I understand that. I expected it to be done by them. Give me 1 second. I'm getting a phone call. All right, that was a phone call from Funky. I muted it because I thought that maybe he was going to come on with me, but he was not. He was asking me about a recruit. But yeah, I know, guys. I muted on purpose. I took a phone call. Sorry about that. It wasn't just you, Chris. It was I took a phone call. Shouldn't have done that. All right. Nobody wants to hit the link, so I'm going to wrap this thing up. I have every intention on coming on tomorrow, showing you guys my new dog, diving into the Minnesota game. You guys know I break down where teams are. Quick little preview. Minnesota's defense is ranked 5th in the nation for rushing. They do not allow a lot of rushing yards. Makes me a little bit nervous that Ryan Day sees that stat and he wants to show how tough he is and how much we can run on these guys. Makes me a little bit nervous there. Oh, here we go. We got Ian. What up, Ian?
What's up, Dev? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me put my Buckeye hat on. I got my Yankees hat.
Okay.
Yankees.
All right, we can do that.
Yeah, I got my.
Bro, I don't think I've had you. You haven't come on before, have you?
Nah, I haven't, man. I'm located in DC. I'm doing federal supervision out here, working for the government. So,
Nice.
I'm from Columbus, born and raised. I went to Marion Franklin High School, back in 2005. Lifelong. I played for the little Buckeyes, the SCAA Buckeyes in Columbus, back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
So we had the little Buckeye stickers and all that. So I'm a lifelong fan, man, and I love the work you do, Nevada, B. Moses, the whole crew, man. So I wanted to tap in and just show my appreciation because every night I'm tuned in, brother.
Hey, dude, we appreciate that, bro. We really do. It's so cool, man, because if you watch a lot, you hear me talk about, even when I went to the Washington game, there's all type of people in Washington that watch the channel and they recognize the Scoop people, and it's just cool, man. Buckeye Nation, dude, it's got long hands, dude. It reaches across the nation. It's so cool to see.
Absolutely. It's a family, man. Honestly, like, we're the Lakers, the Yankees, man. It's a brand, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even have to be from Ohio to be in love with the team. Out in DC, it's a big following out here as well. Like, we have a lot of people that root for the squad, man. So again, I just wanted to get on and touch on some things, and I wanted to attest to what you said about some of the speed of the players, man, because I've been rewatching some of the even the games from last year, and the speed that Jeremiah possesses is unreal, bro. To be that big, you know what I mean.
I do.
Bo Jackson as well. So, what did you feel like about Julian saying in the game against Washington, like in person? How does he look?
So Julian's saying release and his decision making, I don't think are caught up with each other yet, right? Like his release is so fast, and in person, I just feel like he's a tick behind. And I know that, like, he's got an 80% completion rate, playing for the Buckeyes. He's one of the top rated quarterbacks in the nation. Right. And he only got 6 offensive possessions and put up 24 points. So that should really tell you everything you need to know about Julian Sand. But my reason for saying I think he's a tick behind is to say how high this kid's ceiling is. Right. He's throwing at 80%. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. And Ryan Day hasn't even, in this offensive coaching staff, I don't think they've tapped into 50% of what he's capable of doing, because you saw his legs. He didn't look the greatest with his legs, but when you watch his high school film, he has several runs in high school where you're like, dang, bro, that kid can move.
He's not a stiff at all.
You saw a little bit of it in the Washington game. And man, I think this Minnesota game, I think you're going to see Ryan Day turn him loose a little bit more. But the thing is everybody's wants to question this Ohio State offense and wants to question whether Julian Sand can handle it. And it's like, well, he's 9 for 9 on 20-yard passes down the field. He's 100%. Right. So you can do away with the thing saying, well, we don't think he can. The dude's like, he's 100% on throws over 20 yards, okay?
Correct.
And then here's the other thing. He hasn't needed to do more than what he's done.
Absolutely.
Why would they have him do more? The only way they would have lost the Texas game is if Julian Sand tried to do too much. The defense was suffocating Texas. The only way you lose the Washington game, ask Julian Sand to do too much. This defense is the story of the Buckeye season so far. And it's changed the way the offense has to operate. There's no need for it. When you get in the playoffs, turn him loose. That way, nobody knows what he can do. Nobody can see what he can do. The Buckeyes kind of did it last year. After the Oregon loss, turned Will Howard loose a little bit. Still didn't use his legs, 100%. But when it hit playoff time, turned him all the way loose. I just 100%. Think Ryan Day has a grasp on this 12-team playoff better than any coach in the nation. And he should, because he just won a national title. Marcus Freeman is the only other coach that even has the experience Ryan Day has. So whatever Ryan Day is doing with holding back and holding things back, I'm all for it. He did it last year. It worked. I'm sure he's refining a little bit this year.
100%.
But dude, 100%. Nobody can say anything about what Ryan Day is doing because nobody's been in his shoes. He's the only coach that's mastered a 12-team playoff. So whatever he's got going on, keep doing it.
Correct. And you said two things, man. Like, one was the trust factor our fan base needs to have for Ryan Day. I think having Chip Kelly in the building last year gave him a more pro-style approach to what we're doing. That experience in the NFL, the long season. And I read something interesting. I was on a podcast, and there was a comment, and it was basically saying, like, Ryan Day has, with the NFL experience he brings, the experience of going in the deep playoff run last year, he understands the grind of the season and how to methodically get through a season, healthy, letting your defense kind of, shape the way you call your plays. And to be honest, like, the flow of the game dictates that as well, because the is fumble, the fourth down call against Texas, we never really have really had a chance to open up the playbook like we want to, because the style of the game, I feel like. I think if a couple things go different, the third down incompletion to Ennis at Washington, where Julian kind of skipped the ball on the turf, those are, it's play calling is a rhythm. It's not just, Madden. You know what I'm saying? But the comment I wanted to make was, if you look at, like, Oregon, Dan Lanning, or you look at maybe what Notre Dame is doing with CJ Carr, it's just fully open, full bore attack, trying to put points on the board. And the comment was like, towards the end of the season, those teams have a lot of things on tape, and teams can scout better for them, right? Yeah. And if you look at Dan Lanning, no offense, I think he's a good coach, but his teams kind of fizzle out when it comes to playoffs and end of the season. You look at the Washington loss, you look at when they went up to Wisconsin last year late in the season. Ryan Day doesn't have a lot of stuff on tape, so it's hard to scout that when it's just, like you say, methodical. It's thoughtful. It's game planning for each opponent rather than just throwing a whole playbook out there. And so I think that was to our advantage last year as well, because we got in the playoffs and put a lot of stuff on the field that teams just didn't see. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to know your thoughts on that, Dev.
Well, I think everything you said is beautiful, because I think what we don't realize as fans, and I think the only way we would be able to realize this is if we had experience in both realms. And what we don't realize is how much the 12-team playoff changed how coaches have to go through the season, right? So what did the 12-team playoff do? It made college football look more like the NFL than it ever has, okay? What does Ryan Day have? NFL experience. What does Matty P have? NFL experience. What do a lot of these coaches on this coaching staff have? NFL experience. So I think the part of this that us fans don't wrap our head around very much, which is why a lot of people, and not just fans, national media, people that cover college football, is they don't have that aspect quite drilled in yet. They don't know how much the 12-team playoff truly affects the regular season and truly affects teams, the longevity, the plays, the injuries. But Ryan Day does. Not only did he do it last year, but he coached in the NFL. So did Chip Kelly. So did, Matty P. Like I said, all this NFL experience we have on this team, we're able to focus more on that. Like for instance, I know right now the Buckeyes are practicing for Minnesota. A lot of players that the Caleb Downses, the Jeremiah Smiths, the players that have solidified themselves, they're not getting many reps in practice. Okay,
no question.
Ryan Day is protecting every single rep.
Absolutely.
Like it's the most important thing on the face of the earth. So I think us fans, we have to switch our mentality of wanting the Buckeyes to go out and dominate every game. We got to switch it to, all right, we need to go out and win every game while protecting our players.
No question.
While saving and getting ready for when playing the best really matters, and that's in the playoffs. We lost 2 games last year. We won the national title. Okay,
Absolutely.
We don't need to go dominate. 24-6 against Washington, that's all we needed. Did we need to do anything else?
I'll take it every time.
No. Did we want to do more? For sure. The national media really presses that down our throat too by antagonizing us, saying Dan Lanning's a better coach than Ryan Day. Oregon looks better. Oh, Miami's number 1. Oregon's number 1. I don't give a dang who's number 1. We'll see who's playing the best in the playoffs. 42-0, Dan Lanning in the Rose Bowl. We'll see. We'll see. But
Absolutely.
I trust Ryan Day.
Like that Penn State game, I watched the Oregon and Penn. I rewatched it today actually, and that score is misleading because in the fourth quarter, or I think late in the third quarter, it was 3-3, right? And so the double overtime gave them a chance to put points on the board. But I just think, like you say, if it's not one thing, it's the other with Ohio State, right? When our defense is good, they're like, where are the points, right? Well, Ohio State can't win without a defense. But if our offense is humming with no defense, well, Ohio State did, their offense is good, but they can't go deep in the playoff without, a suffocating defense. So I think, and I also think Ryan has shifted his philosophy a lot. I think that I think he knows that the defense can travel, offense can be sometimes, it just depends on the game flow, but the defense is going to be there. And with the players we have, the line, I mean, Caden McDonald, brother, like, come on, man. And bro, like he is ridiculous, man. I used to live in Atlanta, and it's hard to get people out of Gwinnett County to come to anywhere but Georgia and Bama. You know what I'm saying? So to get players like that, Kenyatta Jackson, Sonny Styles, and we Arvell Reese, man. What more do you need to say, right? I think he has a pulse on his team, and I think we need to trust that as Buckeye Nation for real.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he earned our trust, and like I said, this is new to most people, fans. It's new to most college coaches. Yes. Not all college coaches have a lot of experience in the NFL. So Ryan Day, he did this last year. He protected reps. He slowed down I remember, before the Oregon game, everybody was complaining about how slow the offense was moving. Why are we not utilizing our skill players? Why are we not running tempo? To think that Julian Sayin, the most accurate quarterback in the nation, throwing to the number 1 and number 2 wide receiver in the nation, and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate cannot be explosive if they want to be. Oh, yeah, we got some tight ends that can catch the ball too. I promise you, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Everybody thinks about these CJ Stroud offenses. Well, do you remember what's the key difference in this Buckeye team compared to when we had CJ Stroud? We actually have a defense now.
Absolutely.
Okay? We don't need to go score 50 points. Right?
And that shifted Ryan Day's philosophy. I think that was out of necessity to go out there and do that, right? Especially in 2021. We all know what happened at the Oregon game. I still can't believe, we let them come into the shoe and do that. And I that was vindication at the Rose Bowl last year. But I think it's like you say, man. I think and the thing I think I want to stress that's the most important is something you touched on. We have Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Right, the explosion is there. I was rewatching the game today, and I'm like, America should be terrified. Because when we do open it up, we have the horses. You know what I'm saying? No, and not a lot of miles are going to be on those legs from the way we're playing. You know what I'm saying? It's man, I'm excited, man. I think the idea of us going back to back and kind of owning the college football world, man, is exciting. I love the way to me, man, like these are John Cooper talent teams with a coach that knows how to win. If you get this is 1995 and 6. This is that level of talent on the team, but just a coach that can kind of get us over that hump. This because when I was in the 90s, this is the type of talent Ohio State used to have. Urban Meyer brought it back, and obviously the Trussell years, especially 07, 06, our championship year in 02. But, just super talented on both sides of the ball, man. This is bringing me back to those, those 90 teams and when we just lost to Michigan at the end of the year. And I feel like the college football world never gives us our props, except for when Urban was here in the Trussell years. But we've always had this type of, this level of talent on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
We just have a coach now that we need to trust because he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And, a lot of people want to point to, and this is true, Washington was playing like 2 deep safeties the whole time. It's like they're playing 6-man coverage the entire time deep, right, to avoid those big plays. Well, the truth is you can double JJ all you want. Carnell Tate will just catch the dunk on you. He'll just catch the ball over your head. So, again, you didn't see the explosiveness in the Washington game because it was a very hostile environment. Julian Sands' first road game, but more importantly, we didn't need to. We didn't need to.
Absolutely not.
That's all. And this Buckeye team's only going to get better and better and better. And I like what Ryan Day is doing. And sometimes the fan side of me wins out, and I get frustrated, especially when I'm watching a game live. That's why I don't do live shows immediately afterwards, because I got to process it through it. And every time through my processing, anytime I question anything, I go back to just trusting Ryan Day. I mean,
absolutely.
If he wins this game, I think he's going to be the winningest coach in college football ever, the highest win rate ever of any coach ever. Yeah, bro. Like what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Right.
Okay?
Paul Brown. We're talking Paul Brown, Knute Rodney, pre-1920s football, right? And Dev, you want to know what's so crazy, brother? If people remember the 2020 Nick Saban teams and the 2017 team and the late Nick Saban run when he had Sark at the helm, but those Bama teams from 09, those 12, those 13 and 14 teams, they were winning like how we're playing football right now. Yeah. Right? That was the norm, and the media loved it, right? And now, since Ohio State is got that formula and doing it, all you hear, especially from SEC pundits, and I won't even go into naming names, man, but it's just Ohio State's offense. But again, when LSU and Bama played a 9-6 national championship game, they ate it up, right? And we're scoring, and we have and they didn't have the capability to be explosive, right? They didn't have Jeremiah Smith. I think the Julio Jones year, they got a little bit more explosive, but it's just funny seeing the media just lose their minds over Ohio State being this dominant, especially on defense, right? Because this is what the SEC kind of liken themselves to be the dominant defensive the conference. Yeah. And if you look at Georgia's defense and Alabama's defense, man, they're terrible.
Yeah. It's so wild you bring that up, man, because, dude, a lot of the national media and most just sports media people in general, dude, they cannot stand when Ohio State is this good because, like you said, for the most part, all I've heard from other people besides Buckeye people is how we only scored 24 points against Washington.
Right.
Instead of holding a team that was averaging 55 points a game to 6 points.
Dev didn't punt for 18 straight possessions.
Yeah. They won 22 straight games at home.
Right.
What are we talking about? They have an NFL wide receiver, an NFL running back, and a very, very, very good quarterback. Oh, yeah, and they got Jed Fish as their coach. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's pretty damn good.
Familiar with our defense too, right? Knows our defense.
Bro.
Coach with Steve Belichick. So he had the principles down, and he still couldn't do nothing with it. And I want to touch on that, Dev, because it's been eating at me, and I'm so glad I got a chance to have this conversation with you, brother.
Yeah.
The way that they're just dismissing our Texas win.
Bro,
and
I know, dude.
Oh, bro, like, come on, man. Like, you cannot. You can't talk Texas up for 2 months and give Arch the Heisman and tell us how great Colin Simmons is and Anthony Hill is and tell us how great the receiver, the number one Wingo is and tell us how great Trey Wisner is, right? And I was listening to On Texas Football on a lot of those podcasts and obviously just all the talk leading up to the game, and then we win, right? And you just can't dismiss that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't go like that, man. It seems to be like the running theme in the media. Just this week, there have been a few people they kind of got to call a spade, right? They have to.
Yep.
They got to start acknowledging what's going on up there in Columbus. And then to Washington, I heard, we had a bye week, so all I heard for 2 weeks was, man, this could be an upset, right? The spread is too low.
I know, bro.
It was crazy to see, man, and I kind of knew we were going to do what we did, but to actually go out and for them to put that on film, Boston was getting first round wide receiver talk, Coleman was getting a lot of third round talk, and is he the best back in the Big Ten talk, right?
Yeah.
And so now when we end the 22 game winning streak, it just kind of falls on, it kind of just goes by the wayside, man. So and I like this position for us. I like the boys being, kind of feeling like, being the number one team, but having that underdog mentality. You know what I'm saying? And taking that disrespect and running with it, man, because they hear the noise.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, you don't think our D-line heard the noise all preseason about how they were going to be the weakest link on this team, and now look what they're doing.
Come on now.
Right now, they are playing like the biggest strength this team has. Our defensive line is the biggest. Caden Curry, K-Mac, Kenyatta Jackson, that Washington game, that was the unit MVP of the game, our defensive line.
Oh, no question.
The Buckeyes love that, man, even from their own fan base, right? They use that as fuel. They use that as fire. I'm glad you brought that up, too. They did it with Texas. Oh, my God, Texas #1 team.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys ever thought that maybe Ohio State just completely killed their mojo?
Absolutely.
And it took them a little bit to get back from that whirlwind that Matty P put them in. You ever think that just messed with Texas's confidence, which is why they haven't looked like the #1 team?
No question.
Best and believe they are a very good team. And you brought it up perfectly. They did the same thing with Washington. Oh, Boston. Oh, Coleman. Oh, my God, Williams. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. 8.5 point spread. Boy, I'm going to tell you this. I don't bet a lot, but I made a lot of money. I mean, that 8.5 point spread to me was like the freest money I've ever seen in my life. I was like, all right, Hard Rock Casino, how much will you let me bet? I maxed it out. They wouldn't let me put any more money on it because that's how I was like, dude, I'm not buying. Like, it's not that Washington isn't what they said they are, because they are.
They're good. That's a good outfit. That's a good team up there, man.
It's that, and you'll see that. Watch Washington the rest of the year. Watch what they do to teams. It's that this defense and these Buckeyes are that good. They're coached that good. The culture is that good. Like, these Buckeyes are that good that the national media cannot take it. They can't stand it. We're the winningest football program in the last 25 years by a large margin. Like,
not even close. The whole outfit, Dev, is a button-up professional organization, man. It's and Nevada likes to talk about this. he's picking up where Nick Saban left off, man. Somebody had to grab the
Yeah,
mantle,
bro.
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, and the way he goes about his business, the seriousness of the players. My wife and I were listening to the Caleb Downs talk, and she was like, "How old is he?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she thought he was a coach, legit thought he was a coach, right? And
Yeah.
this is what you used to see from the Bama players and why they were so respected, why the NFL liked their talent, why they just drafted guys blindly. You know, some Bama players didn't pan out in the league, but they took them based off the pedigree and where they came from. And so I think that's where Ryan Day's picking up. Obviously, he has a good rapport with Nick Saban, and I'm pretty sure he's leaned on him a lot, man. He's keeping a lot of the legends close to the program. I was watching the Rose Bowl from last year, and Chris Carter's on the sidelines. I
Yeah.
mean, just the organization, man, it's been, Urban had it humming, but this is about as good as it gets
Yeah.
in terms of
And,
the program. You get what I'm saying?
and yeah, and it's like the thing I love about it is you watch all these other coaches around the country, the Clemson coach, the Dabo Swinney, and you kind of get a sense that they think their way is the best, right? They won't sway from their way. They're not going to take kids in the transfer portal. This is how we run our defense. This is how we run our offense. But there's one thing you can't say about Ryan Day, and it's that you can say he's stubborn about some things, but for the most part, when there is an issue on this team, he actually corrects it.
In
You know,
season.
yeah, in season, right? Whatever. He fixes it. It might not be as fast as we want, but anything that comes quick isn't worth having to begin with, right? That's that microwave society mindset that has now leaked into college football, and all these recruits want as much money as they can possibly get their first year, whether they've earned it or not. All
Absolutely.
this. Ryan Day does not fall for that. Other teams are falling for that. Oregon, that's what they're doing. Now, as much as we can get now. Let's score as many points as we can right now. Let's dominate teams now. Let's dominate all season. You get to the end of the season, you look up the scoreboard, it's 42-0, right? You didn't make a plan. You didn't put your season in a crock pot and slowly warm it up. You didn't put your
Absolutely.
players in a crock pot. You played that freshman money that you're going to pay a starting senior. You're paying him the same
Absolutely.
amount of money, and you're throwing him on the field, throwing him all these passes. Well, what happens when he doesn't get a ball thrown his way one game? He doesn't
No
get happy.
question.
What happens when you got to bench the star defensive end and he loses it, and that spreads throughout your team? Like, there's so many aspects to this Ohio State team that I think us fans take for granted and forget about simply because we're not involved in it every day. All we're
Absolutely.
involved in it as is we turn the TV on and we watch them, right? That's it. But, you know, following the team like I do, being connected, doing this YouTube channel has let me into that world a little bit to see like the amount of success, why Ryan Day has the success that he has, because he leaves no stone unturned, and he starts at the very beginning. He looks at each player, he looks at each man, and he looks at them as men, and he trains and he teaches them to be men. He teaches them to I mean, look at all these stars. Caden Curry sat behind, he sat there for how many years and didn't play?
Bro,
K-Mac.
I was just gonna talk about Caden Curry.
Yeah,
His story is indicative on just the philosophy of what we do in Columbus, right? For that kid could have went anywhere. I mean, I think he's from Indiana. He definitely could have went home. He could have transferred to any school, man, and played 2 years ago, right? It's same thing with K-Mac. You know what I'm saying? And for
oh yeah,
Kenyatta Jackson, for CJ Hicks to stick around, not being guaranteed a lot of snaps, not playing a lot of snaps, starting the Indiana game last year, right? I mean, the Akron game last year, then going basically to not playing for the rest of the year, and to still stick around. That tells you where we are as in terms of the state of the program, man, and
yeah,
how bought in these kids are, whether they're playing or not. I listened to Aaron Scott, the interview on I think it was Tuesday, and he said, I'll do anything. What this team needs to win. I listened to
yeah,
Jelani Thurman. Jelani Thurman said, I'll carry the water for their player if that's what we need. If that's what we need to win.
yeah,
So that further, it just further strengthens my trust in Ryan Day, man. Like, I didn't see this when Urban handed him the controller. I didn't know how it would go, but I didn't see
yeah.
this, man. This is
No,
this is
I mean,
far, and this is
yeah, Carnell Tate's getting offered $1 million to transfer, doesn't do it. I mean, look at
facts.
Jelani Thurman. You don't think Jelani Thurman, if he hit the portal, teams would pay him whatever he asked for? Look
Facts.
at Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese didn't even play that much last year. We were pounding the table for him to play more. No, but he sat, was patient, and now look at him. I mean, if he stopped playing right now and waited for the draft, he'd go in the first round.
First round pick. They got him going 13 to the Broncos. First round pick, 13 to the Broncos after playing basically after a 4-game career, right? That shows you the development of these dudes, Dev. Like it's unparalleled, man. Like I say, I remember the teams from the 90s. I remember Urban's run, 5 or 6 of those Trussell teams. Man, I don't know if it's ever been like this, bro. I really don't, man.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's so liberating, man, because all we heard for 20 years was the SEC, and we knew what we had, in Columbus and what our program was capable of. So to finally have that be able to be realized and come to fruition, man, I'm enjoying every day of the journey, brother.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I do. I'm going to say this, and we'll wrap up here, man. I'm so glad you came on, dude. You need to come on more, bro. The chat's enjoying our conversation. You're a very smart individual. You can tell you're a real Buckeye fan. Love it, bro. But,
I appreciate you.
When you watch what this team did last year, okay, you watch what they did in the playoffs, it was hard to fathom us being better this year, right? Are we in agreement there? Like,
100%.
For those people that said, hey, nobody said, hey, we're going to have a better defense and offense than we had last year, right? It's just hard to say. We won a national title. You'd sound crazy if you said that. Well, look what's happening this year, right? Our defense is better than it was last year in its own way. I mean, it's yet to be said whether it's actually better or not, but through 4 games, we're better than we were through 4 games last year.
And the eye test too, Dev. The eye test, what I'm seeing on the field, the eye test, Caleb Downs being a year older, Igmanosin being a year, but the eye test is telling me.
But check this out. This is how you know you're an elite program, is because try to stretch your mind to what this team could look like next year. You almost can say, are we going to be better next year than we are? Like when you start getting into those conversations and you can actually think and be like, you're telling me this whole offensive line could come back. You're telling me Arvell Reese could come back. You're telling me Devin Sanchez is going to be in his second year. Julian Sain in his second year. You're telling me Chris Henry Jr. is going to be on the team. You're telling me
Quincy Porter, Mylan Graham.
Yeah, bro. It's just like, whoa, man.
You tell me a year older.
Yeah, Kari Wilder is going to be here. Some of these freshmen, Ziggy Grady, Epi Satani.
Jaquez Carter, Will Smith will be here. I mean, it's
bro. I mean,
that's why I'm enjoying the journey, man. I really am. Every day I get to, like I say, listen to you, listen to Nevada, keep a pulse on the team. Like I'm a real super fan, man. Like this is what I do. Like besides my kids, my job, and my wife, man, it's Buckeyes, brother. Like you know what I'm saying. And I appreciate the opportunity to get on and chat with you. I'm gonna get my information to you, and if you ever want to do some shows, talk some ball. Anything, man. We'll link up and make it happen, man. And Buckeye Nation, we're a family for real, brother.
Yeah, hey, email me your number for sure, dude. We'll get you back on here for sure.
No question, bro. No question.
You got the email, right?
Yes, sir. Now let me get it. I'm gonna put it in my notes real quick. Hold on a second. What is it?
Oh, I forget. Hold on. I think it's dude, I literally have 5 emails, 2 businesses. Okay, so it's the Buckeye Boys with 3 Z's at gmail.com. So THE Buckeye Boys with 3 Z's at gmail.com.
Got you. I'm gonna send all my information to you, man. Have a great rest of your evening. Buckeye Nation, I love y'all. Go Bucks.
Yeah, brother. God bless. OH.
Yep. Peace. I.O.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. That's what I love about Buckeye Nation. What I love about this chat, dude. You guys see Ian came on for the first time. Next time, put that in there. Come on, man. Let's have a conversation, bro. We're just Buckeye fans talking back and forth. Nobody's special here. I'm telling you, like, that's what we do. So, appreciate you guys, for joining tonight. Shout out the Datsarao. It was awesome to get to meet him, man. He was there with us. Dude got along with the family good, fit right in. It was awesome watching the game with him. I'm excited to give away more tickets in the future. We get into these playoffs, dude. I might give away a playoff ticket, do some trivia. So you guys can help with that by continuing with these super chats, hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. All that stuff helps big time. Thanks for the $5, Joe Oli, 82. Our offense will be set loose in the CFB. We're not showing our hand. I completely agree with you. D Sonny, thanks for the $4.99. Great surprise to see my guy Ian Bates on the podcast. Great guy. Yeah, he's a really good dude. Really knows his stuff. I had an absolute blast talking with him. So appreciate you guys for joining tonight. Appreciate all the super chats. Hit that like button on your way out. Go over to the Buckeye Boys channel. Subscribe there if you haven't already. Hit that like button over there as well. Join the Scoop message board if you haven't, and stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Go Buckeyes. OHIO.